Yes. Well, we should get to Sierra because you see a lot of real world AI adoption. And so maybe start by grounding us. What is Sierra? The business has scaled very quickly. So what are the latest, metrics as of that you can share, because they keep changing from month to month as you guys grow.
So Sierra, we help companies make AI agents for their customer experience. So if you have a big phone line, these AI agents can replace your IVR system and just pick up the phone. If you have a digital chat system, an AI agent can pick it up. You don't need to wait on hold. These agents can not only answer questions, but take action on your behalf. We work with, healthcare companies like Cigna. We just did a great case study with SoFi. And I'm really proud that we raised their net promoter score by 33 points just because it's just so delightful.
Yeah.
It's really fun to see, sort of all these different brands across a wide range of industries get so much value from their agent. We're the leader in the space. Like just you talked about the metrics, we reached $100 million in ARR in 7 quarters, 150 in 8 quarters. We're I think around 165 now, 1 month into our next quarter. So growing really rapidly and really proud of the momentum that we have.
That's super cool. What is the typical adoption? Are people using it for email chat support because that's the easiest modality? Do they adopt it for everything, including phone and stuff like that?
It's changed a lot over the past 2 years, but I'll say the median customer, and that'll describe some interesting outliers, which I hope are sort of glimpses of the future. So most will start with one channel and a few use cases. At a lot of healthcare companies, phone remains the dominant channel. So say, hey, for a few types of phone calls, let's have the AI agent take them and see how it does. Do people like it? Are people comfortable with it? Does it lower our cost? Does it raise whatever metrics? Usually it's customer satisfaction. And does it work more effectively? So for example, like for a car insurance company, it'll be like first notice of loss. I got an offender bender. And that would be the typical way you start. For a lot of more digitally native companies, they'll start with chat, and kind of similar. But almost all of our clients will do both. So SiriusXM, if you call them on the phone, their AI agent Harmony, which I love that name for SiriusXM, will pick up the phone. And if you go to their homepage and you see the chat, that's also the same agent. So the neat part is, I think it's pretty neat because you have literally you have all of your, I'll say, customer experience team or whatever you might call it at your company. They can spend all their time on one thing, and it actually works over WhatsApp. It can work online. It can work in your website, work in mobile app. It can pick up the phone. That's a pretty big change. A lot of our clients, when we start working with them, they'll have like a digital team and a call center team and all these different teams. And we've kind of gotten to the point because we've digitized the last remaining analog channel, which is the telephone. Those are all unified. When I say about sort of a glimpse of the future, we have a few really ambitious customers like Rocket Mortgage, great Detroit company. They own Redfin. They bought a mortgage services company called Mr. Cooper. If you go to Redfin, you can search for a home using an AI agent. If you go to rocket.com, you can originate a mortgage with an AI agent and you can service that mortgage.
So it becomes about product usage rather than just customer service.
And really end-to-end sales, service. And I think that's really exciting. I mean, our whole view is that if we're 1994 and you were doing Cheeky Pint about this internet phenomenon.
That would have been a fun. I was a bit young, but
yeah. It was good of both. Really, I would have my Nirvana shirt on.
Exactly.
We would be talking about look, this is like your digital front door. Or maybe we wouldn't have the prescience to say that. But
on the information superhighway.
On the information superhighway. And I think the same is true of most companies' AI agent singular. There are lots of agents, but the one with your brand at the top that your customers interact with is special, and that's the one we're trying to power for companies.
So you think this, what customer is built on Sierra, your aspiration is that it just becomes sometimes the primary way people deal with the company? About business models, are you guys usage-based or, how are you innovating on the business model front, or are you?
We are trying to. So we do outcomes-based pricing. So for a customer service context, that means if the AI agent resolves the case, no human intervention, there's a pre-negotiated sort of rate for that. And if we do have to escalate to a person, it's free. For sales, it would be a sales commission. And wherever possible, if there's a way to align our interests with our clients, we choose it. And I'm a huge believer in this. I think the analogy of going from impression-based ads to CPC ads is apt. I don't think any ad platform thinks man, think of all the impressions we're giving away for free. because when you charge for something closer to a business value, it's actually more valuable.
It's more efficient.
It's a lot more efficient.
Yeah.
And I think the idea, if an agent's outcome is measurable, it's a really compelling way to, both for clients, obviously, because it's aligned with their business, but it's also quite disruptive because most, I'll say, legacy software companies are not necessarily equipped to do it for a variety of reasons I'm happy to go into, but it's just a very disruptive model.
There's kind of a few lenses you can have on it. One is that you get more alignment, like usage-based is more aligned than other ways of charging. And as you say, it's more efficient because you're incentivized to drive the right outcomes. People also make the analogies to, it's almost like more correct for the labor substitution dynamics that you get, or just like because you have real inference costs, you're going to have to do a usage-based model. I mean, like, do those factor in at all, where this is just... It would not be possible almost to do a fixed price contract because...
I would actually argue outcomes-based is pretty different than usage-based.
Okay.
Just because think of it this way. If you have an AI agent that is making sales for Stripe to small businesses, and, I told you I will sell, 1/10 the number of new, Stripe GMV, however you'd value that, but I'll use, 1/100th of the tokens, you probably wouldn't care. You care about, the value to your top line of your business. I would argue there's not a strong correlation between token usage or utilization and value. There may be, but there's not always. There was that infamous, I think it was called Folklore, but it's this website where that Apple engineer used to put just all this Apple folklore. And
Folklore.org,
Folklore.org, thank you. I love it. It's like, if you're an engineer, it's a fun site to go to. But there was a story about some new bozo manager asking for lines of code every day, and one of the engineers wrote a negative number as a way of saying, like, F you to the man because he refactored a code base or whatever. I think that is the essence of why tokens are not correlated with value. They may be, but the idea that they definitely are, I don't think stands to reason.
AI is kind of uniquely well-suited to coding. And so what do you make of just, how does the AI productivity show up? I feel like every company in Silicon Valley is trying to figure this out right now.
Well, first, I think I'll go back to my why I believe in applied AI. I think the atomic unit of productivity in AI is a process, not a person. I don't think AI, I don't know if you have an assistant, but if you do, he or she might help you prepare for a podcast, might help you prepare for a meeting. He or she might also get you a cup of coffee. AI will be really good at the first two, but quite poor at the last one. So no matter of AGI, short of robotics, will get you a cup of coffee. So I think it's wrong to think about AI as like sort of replacing people. In addition to being inhumane, it's just sort of nonsensical because AI often sort of operates in the world of digital technologies. And I think if you go to like an example of even a mundane process in your business, like onboarding a new supplier, think about all the departments and people involved in that. There's a legal department to do a contract. There's some finance department, procurement to negotiate the relationship. You probably have IT that's involved to sort of onboard them into your core systems. And then there's usually a business that's sort of sponsoring it. Fairly mundane, happens all the time. Let's just say you tracked what is the median amount of time it takes to onboard a new supplier, and it was 17 days, just for argument's sake. I bet you could say, as a CEO of a company, I want to use AI to optimize that process and make it 17 hours or 1 day. And you could go through, and if you had a product manager on that and optimize every part of it, I bet you could achieve that. But the hard part isn't like a person's job, it's actually all the systems and people in between it. And so I think part of the reason why I think it's been slow to get the productivity enhancement is we sort of ship our org charts as companies naturally. That's the natural state. There's not usually a person responsible for that process. There's the legal team responsible for the contract. There's a procurement team, So I think actually we will end up reimagining our companies with the benefit of AI. Will we actually think of our companies as a collection of processes, have people responsible for them with KPIs who can apply AI? And I think I bring it up just because that's my theory of the world. I might be wrong, I might be right, but I'm not sure our companies are set up to essentially absorb the benefits of AI efficiently right now, and we need to do that to really do so. But the bigger point, I think, is that there's the paradox of, well, you want more software engineers. But on top of that, most of the world isn't just digital technology. And so I think a lot of the people in sort of the AGI community have only ever worked at like a research lab or a software company. You look around and you're like, wow, AI